Are you focusing on design to build trust and credibility? Is your company using design to elevate the trust and credibility to the next level? This company does it really well, and this is a typical presentation they would do for one single client. And this presentation would probably last 40 minutes talking about each design. So let's go through some of these designs. And what you want to do by using design, you want to show the client that you are overqualified to build their dream project. Whether it's an outdoor kitchen, an addition, a roof, whatever you do in the industry, even if you are in the food industry, if you're in the restaurant industry, you need to show that you are overqualified in the dishes you present. And that's why presentation is so crucial. And a PowerPoint presentation or video presentation is one of the most important aspects that you should be using to build trust and credibility. Do you agree with that statement or not? If you don't, there's no point in going forward, because if you don't believe that visuals that paint a very vivid picture in their mind of what their dream home might look like, then you're not using their imagination. Their imagination is a very powerful tool. And images like this start that imagination flowing, right? What if we did this? What if these chairs were wider? What if these chairs were reclining? What if these chairs were electric? What if there was a bar in the corner? What if there was stained glass in this window? What if there were twinkle lights all over? What if we had, the red vines crawling over the stone walls, right? This is an example of some of the designs from a 16th century church turned into a cigar lounge that's furthest away from the home possible to create an outdoor man cave or whatever you want to call it. So let's have a look at some of these designs. And each of these designs, you would focus on every area and say, how can we make this design better, right? Um, Here's another version of that same design. Again, the focus is on comfortable seating, right? Reclining chairs, having wine, having a fire pit, because having a gas fire pit and a real fire pit makes a world of difference, especially when you're burning cedar or you're burning a hardwood. The aroma is substantially different, right? And of course, you would want to talk about the flooring materials that are being used. You can use composite materials. You can stain the deck in whatever different colors you want. Again, this company really does it well. Sorry, you can't see the top of the picture. Again, this church has no roof. This was supposed to look like it was built, and it demolished the roof, imploded, and you turned it into a cigar lounge or a cognac lounge. Right, here's some different examples. Stained glass added to give it that authentic feel. Again, the fire pit is crucial to create that warm glow. And everyone looks better in pictures when they have that warm glow, right? And that's why a lot of pictures and selfies are done at night because of that warm glow. So again, different composite decking material, twinkle lights, a koi pond that goes underneath to the real koi pond outside. Uh, Obviously, the koi pond here is covered with glass. You can have a section where you can feed the fish, and the fish go underneath the floor to the real koi pond behind the stone wall. And of course, the koi pond gets covered with a gate with chicken wire, so they're not bothered with raccoons and stuff. This is where you would watch the big game. You'd have a bar reclining, um, And again, you want to paint a real picture. And you can even put a roof on it and turn it into a four-season room if you wanted to, or leave some of the windows open for airflow and just put mesh there to keep the bugs out. So you can do whatever it is. And again, notice that I'm starting with the more expensive designs because you want to create images. If the client says, Leo, I've got a $300,000 budget, you start with a $400,000 budget, then you work down towards their budget. Because if they can see what they can get at twice their budget, then trust me, they're going to find the money to do that. And especially if you offer financing, there isn't a big difference between a $3,000 a month budget as opposed to a $3,500 a month budget. So again, using design is crucial, right? Can you imagine living there? Adding a pizza oven, adding a barbecue, right? And have them say, how much they like or dislike each feature. They may say, I don't really like to eat pizza because, it's not good for you. Yes, but this is an entertainment area. This is when you bring your neighbors and your friends and your pickleball buddies or your golf buddies to come here, enjoy a cognac or a glass of wine or a cigar, right? They may want pizza. And it's about, bragging rights, right? Here's another design for an outdoor kitchen. Again, we're coming down in budget. Um, their favorite toy in the backyard, the church covered with vines. This is the outdoor kitchen area. Turn his favorite toy into an outdoor pizza oven. And again, the pizza oven can be removed with a hoist you attach to a tree, and now he has his truck. Um, and again, you want the people to be bragging. This guy had, a pizza oven built on his power wagon, right? It's about conversations. It's about them posting pictures on the internet and enjoying a slice of pizza. Whoops. And again, for the big party or the big game, you want to have your big toys in the background as conversation pieces, right? After the party, they go back into the garage. Right? Can you imagine yourself living there? And you always want to ask that question. Can you imagine living here? Can you imagine your best friends enjoying this space? Can you imagine being the most popular house in the neighborhood? All right. This is another scale down of a very simple outdoor living space. You can add umbrellas. Here's another design where you have, the lounge area separated from the, eating area. And again, the using umbrellas, you're converting the space. You're having double use or triple use of the space. And having fire pits extend the season into the spring and late into the fall, right? Changing the colors on the barndominium, right? Different composite decks, different type of furniture. Notice how the furniture is very deep and inviting and relaxing. Notice that there's always a wine bottle and always a blanket for the colder nights. So in the middle of the winter, you can come out here, enjoy the fire pit. And I've even suggested some of my clients to offer free firewood, hardwood for 10 years after you've built the deck. Then that way you're coming back to clean the leaves, coming back to clean the fire pit, delivering firewood, and you're keeping constant contact. Keep in mind, these are high net worth clients, right? These are people that live in 5, 20 million, 30 million type homes. And how many people do they know in that same price range, right? So by delivering, even if you make no money on the firewood delivery and you're going to get the firewood for free, and I'll show you how to do that. Imagine when they invite their friends over and say, "Who's doing this? Who built this?" Right? Again, very warm glow, umbrellas, different flooring materials you can use, and again, present different ideas for them. screened, again, to extend the feature. I don't like this fire pit as much as I like the other one, but this is very popular. And you have a choice between the fire pit and the fireplace. And because there's a roof, you need to have a flue. Again, copper flue. So again, different designs. So what do you think of these designs? Should you be using designs to have your clients see you as overqualified to do their project? Type design below, type artificial intelligence below. If you want some help or advice to grow your business. We'll talk again soon. Take care.